Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new documentary, The American Question, from director James Kicklighter. And this film focuses on the big question on how did America get so polarized at this point. This very timely documentary coming out in, the remnants of the 2024 presidential election. Trump has been reelected president, and a lot of questions are floating around. It's like, how did this happen? And this particular film, which I really appreciate the fact that this film stands out because it takes the time to talk to each of these people and give them the space to actually, explain their perspective. And there's some moments where there's a little pushback in terms of like questioning a perspective or something like that. But generally, it's allowing that space because I think one of the biggest things is nobody listens to the perspectives of differing perspectives anymore. And I think this film does an interesting job of, structurally, it feels like, traditional kind of documentary. You have sit-down interviews. I do think that Kicklighter has some nice details in terms of like little animations and stuff like that come up to give the film a little bit of personality. But generally it's talking to people and hearing from their perspectives and why they're leaning a certain way, why they're voting a particular way. And it's going to places that I think a lot of people don't really think about, tiny, small towns. Because, you hear a lot from big voices on the internet, in entertainment and sports and stuff like that. These are not people who are living those small town lives. This film is about those people. This film gives them the space to be able to articulate why they're leaning a particular way. And that active listening, this film sitting there, you're there for this 90-minute film listening to the perspective of others, is where this film really stands out. Like I said, it's pretty straightforward from a technical standpoint and a structural standpoint. But it does have a very well-realized thesis and has a strong conclusion where it actually gives you some takeaways. There's some synthesis of this experience and thinking about, okay, how can we resolve this big question that's happening in American society right now about polarization? And I think this film gives good solutions. It presents it in a clear, concise, and engaging way. This film is well put together. It moves. This 90 minutes does not feel like it's a big, long commitment. And, it's looking at very specific kinds of places. And sure, it could have been bigger scale and hitting on all different walks of life, sure. But I think the real point of this was, giving voice to those that are in those tiny towns where you might not have heard of. And I think this film provides some interesting points to think about. And I'm sure this is the kind of film that you will be thinking about for long after. And maybe taking a step back and looking at your own perspective. But those are my thoughts on The American Question. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.